Yo, we is live.
I don't believe it.
Don't
I
believe
won't
it?
believe it. I won't believe it until Ellis
Yeah.
says something smart in the comments.
Okay. That
Right
makes
now, I got no smart remarks. You know, they're coming on, I swear. Listen, what it do, snackers and snackettes? It's your boy Gage. Jokes is in the building, his building. Send you in the building.
sense. In the
We're
building.
going back on lockdown. Stay in your building.
I'm staying in.
on
Staying
target.
in.
Stay in your
Good.
building. You hear me? You are now watching Loading Snacks Weekly. This is a mega episode, as you may have noticed, because Jokes probably put it in the title. We have a lot to talk about. Disney dropped a lot of news on us last week, so we have a lot to talk about. But we are also gonna try to sneak in some of the video game news from last week too. So we're kind of doing a double LS Weekly / cutscenes episode here, because we are not gonna go live for
Thank you.
cutscenes on Thursday. We're gonna take a break for a couple of days. We're gonna take a break for next week because of the holiday, but we'll get into all of that and we'll discuss that. I want to appreciate everybody who's in the chat right now.
Yeah.
So Marcus and Ellis and Marcus again. Henry Brooks, I see you, bro. Hey, Cuddy, bruh, you missing out on some heist activity. We need to have a conversation.
We
We
out
will
here.
a little bit. Thank you everybody for jumping in, for joining in. You are watching Loading Snacks Weekly, where we get together once a week and talk about things that are happening in pop culture, and we're gonna do that because today there's a Disney overload.
Woo.
All right,
That's an
Overload ain't even a
That
word.
is an understatement.
Disney overload. I want to say that tree that Sin has, that Mario star tree, was done by a good friend of ours. You want to give some insight into that, Sin? Because that's the second time I've seen somebody give a compliment
It's like
on
the
the
second
tree
or
in the
third
background.
time, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Friend of ours, Liz DeSeuss, she makes these. I don't know if she still makes this particular one, but when we saw her at Ocean City last year, she has a different version of it at the time. And I double check, like, is yours still working good and everything? Like, yeah, it lights up and everything. Like, I'm good. I love it. Break it out every year for it. Still in good condition. Yeah, I
do
recommend.
believe Liz just had a new. She's an author. She writes books, novels, and so forth. But she also does stuff like that she'll have at her tables.
Yeah.
And I do believe she just had another manuscript go through that was something that she penned a long time ago. I saw her post about it. So y'all just Liz De Jesus. Y'all check her out. She's done a lot for us. She, we interviewed her a couple years ago. She introduced us to the gentleman at PLB Comics, James Doofendock, and his brothers, and that's how we got involved with Ocean City Comic Con, because they do that. So, Liz is good. She's good people. So y'all make sure y'all check her out. Brooks, what I wanted to say to you is,
where do you see Boa Hancock at? No, if you're talking about next to the tree, that's Robin.
There it is. Brooks, we can make that whole rap thing happen. Jokes got first verse.
Whoa.
You have to.
You should go
Put that
first.
Boa down there.
It sets some high expectations, and then I'll just come in and like chime in or do some ad libs.
Yeah, that's why I'd be the anchor. Like, I can't let you just. Oh, you want to do my ad libs?
Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, maybe I'll do that.
I do not trust you to do my ad libs. I feel like they'll be the worst. I don't know what to expect. Yeah. So listen, let's jump in, because we have a lot to talk about. So I'm sure most of you saw and are aware. If you were anywhere on social media, then it was impossible to miss.
Jeez.
The news that came. It actually interrupted
The game
our show last week when we were doing cutscenes. That was Ellis's fault. But listen, listen, do you guys want to start with MCU stuff, or do you want to start with Star Wars stuff?
I don't know. Like, it's a ton either way. So I mean, can't go wrong with either one we start with right now.
Let's go MCU and just move on. Just pick a choice. Yeah.
Fair. Exactly, Ellis. And
No.
we will not have any
No.
Waka ad libs.
Waka.
Stop it. Stop it. All right, so look. A lot of the stuff that Disney talked about was stuff we knew about or had some level of information on. On facts.
Yeah.
What they really said was to Warner Brothers, like, what you're planning isn't going to be enough. And we're going to get to that too. Mm-hmm. So, look, we got a new trailer for WandaVision. Mm-hmm. We got a solid date for WandaVision, which is January 15th. So, at this point, literally 1 month away from today. You know what? Of the MCU stuff that was announced, is there something that either one of you is most excited about?
I think for me, Secret Invasion, I think is one of the big things. Like, I know we've talked about Secret Invasion for a very long time.
For years, bro.
Very long time.
For years.
And it was just we thought maybe it would be a movie, but we're gonna get it in the form of a Disney Plus TV show. And you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that. And I just think that's going to have a lot. MCU has implications regardless of which movie, which show you watch. Like, they're all going to be intertwined in there somehow. But I feel like this one has, like, the biggest foothold just for the fact of we don't know who's a Skrull that's still on the planet right now, for all we know. And then that could still turn into something major coming along down the road. Like, I was expecting Fury to be working on, like, the sword and stuff. Like, he was in space, but clearly, I guess
still could be though.
He still could be there. Maybe he's coming back. I don't know. Maybe there's another Skrull up there, and that's not Nick Fury, and he's in a bunker. So I don't know. But I think as of right now, that's probably the number one that I'm outside of WandaVision. Like, I think we all are super hyped for WandaVision just for the sheer mystery kind of feel. Like, we're not still 100% certain of what it is that we're truly getting for it, but definitely Secret Invasion.
Sin?
I'm still hyped for Winter Soldier and Falcon, so I'm glad I got to see a trailer for that with everything that came out. I'm really excited about that. As far as everything else, there's nothing I'm like super to the moon excited about. I'm excited literally about all of it, but I can't pinpoint which one. It's just too much. It was just so much information. Seeing my girl, I can't think of her name right now. That's gonna be playing She-Hulk from Orphan Black.
Oh, Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah, like that news excited me. I saw it rumored like months ago, whatever. But
they even talk about it for a minute.
Yeah, but seeing that it's official, it has me really, really excited for She-Hulk because she is amazing. If you have not seen,
Orphan Black,
you understand what I'm talking about if you've seen
foot it. To the thigh in that joint.
Yeah, so seeing that she's gonna play such a major role, that has me excited. And it was some of the sleeper stuff that they announced that like piqued my interest. Armor Wars, we're actually getting an Iron Heart. You know what I mean? Just I Am Groot. Like, okay, y'all just throwing everything y'all got at us, and I'm here for every last bit of it.
Hey, they had to impress the investors, so it was like they just said, "Look, here, take it."
Yeah, I mean, look, I want to say, Henry, you did not miss what's going on with Black Widow. They didn't really talk about it. I mean, right now it's still slated for next year. I still think that movie's going to hit Disney Plus. I think it's going to end up being a day and date thing, if not just a straight to Disney Plus thing. But here's the thing. Probably the thing that I was the most excited about was What If. Because it just gives us an opportunity. One is animated. And all of the original MCU actors are supposed to be reprising their roles in their places on the show. Part of the thing that stands out about that to me, and I could not find whether or not this was confirmed or not, but it makes me wonder whether or not Chadwick Boseman had already recorded his lines for it.
Okay. Interesting.
And whether or not, because we definitely see Black Panther in the What If like trailer. For everything else, like Secret Invasion is probably my biggest surprise. Because it just seemed like they were gonna act like that whole thing didn't happen. You know what I mean? For some reason. WandaVision, I think, is easily the thing that stands out as the biggest piece of the coming MCU when you look at how WandaVision is going to tie into Doctor Strange and how Doctor Strange is going to tie into Spider-Man 3. And then because of the whole multiverse of madness, Spider-Verse thing, which is clearly definitely happening. This was definitely a play for Disney that was like, look, the parks are shut down, but y'all can't stop putting y'all money into us. Because you know what I mean? Like, there's so much more to us than just what the parks are. And that being the case, and as we've talked about before with like what they found in terms of dealing with video game engines like Unreal in order to actually make movies, to make shows like they're using for The Mandalorian, their ability to still put out high quality production for film or for these shows, it just is kind of stand out right now. And probably the biggest knock against Disney Plus has been the lack of like brand new
original
exclusive content, original exclusive content outside of really just The Mandalorian. There's other stuff, but nothing really stands out like The Mandalorian does. And though we've known that this stuff was coming, this was just kind of that hype train. So like getting an opportunity to really look at Loki, I didn't get super excited about that trailer until it was like, oh, they're making Loki into DB Cooper. This is what we're doing. Or we just gonna travel all over time and do all kinds of stuff. That's kind of exciting. It makes me wonder really where they're gonna go and what else they're gonna do with it. Again, like you said, Sam, Falcon and Winter Soldier, it just looks like it's gonna be more exciting than it sounded like it might have been at first. If that makes sense. Having a Hawkeye coming in fall of next year, Haley Steinfeld being confirmed, which probably means Kate Bishop, is kind of a big deal. Ironheart, the idea of them bringing Riri Williams in as essentially a replacement for Iron Man is an incredibly big deal. It could mean they're going in several different directions. I mean, we know we're going to get Kang the Conqueror now. We also know that in the comics, in the Young Avengers, the younger Iron Man actually is Kang the Conqueror. So it becomes Kang the Conqueror. So the question of whether or not that happens sooner, or if they do actually bring in the kid that
from Iron
showed
Man
up,
3.
or if they stay with Riri Williams, depending on how well the show goes.
True.
And
I know, Stan, you're excited about Moon Knight.
Of course. That's not a secret.
Man, what if that ends up being low-key the most fire of them all after all this?
I mean, it has. Listen. I give Moon Knight I poke a lot of fun at Moon Knight because it's Moon Knight, but there's definitely potential there, for sure. The fact that we're gonna get Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner in She-Hulk, the fact that we're getting Miss Marvel, like they did a really good job, I think, of showing the new actress, the young actress who's gonna play Kamala Khan, stating the fact that she is going to be in Captain Marvel 2. You know, as you're introducing these younger, newer heroes, it just leaves a lot that they can do with whatever they want to do with the MCU going forward. The Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special. What's up, Alfonso? That's probably the weakest jump for me right now.
But you know what? That jump probably gonna be classic.
I agree.
I mean, the fact that it's not due until 2022 and it's a holiday special means it's gonna be very at the end of the year. But it's supposed to come out with Guardians 3, so it might work together.
Yeah, maybe like a tie-in to the like setting up the movie, getting ready to go in, kind of reminiscing on the times, it's the holiday, and then they get ready to jump into that next great mission or whatever it is. So I think it'll be a good tie-in.
Things could be very different from the way we're used to them being in the MCU by the end of 2022.
Oh, easy.
So
easy. It'd be a whole new world.
No doubt. A few of them actually.
I would say.
Yeah.
The I Am Groot thing. I mean, they're short films. It might only be 2 or 3 of them. It could be that. I don't know if they're going to be animated or how they're going to do them. So I for me that just remains to be seen how they handle it. Look, 6 episodes for Winter Soldier might not be so bad.
I'm not complaining.
I'm going to say that because that's basically all we got for this season of Mandalorian. And right now, if that joint ends correctly this Friday, they did a good thing. And honestly, feeling like it's not enough episodes really depends on what they do with the other shows and how intrinsically any of those things are tied to one another.
I mean, they're basically movies, just broken up to be put on Disney Plus. So you figure, that's a 6-hour movie. That's still more than you would get if they did it in
a normal movie, 2.5-hour movie. So
So,
absolutely,
I'm good with it.
It's a lot more.
Take that quality. When you bring that quality, like sometimes quantity is that thing that you have to be careful with. It's like just because of the fact, hey, you get 20 episodes. 20 episodes, you're probably gonna have a lot of filler type of thing, very slow pace, and you don't always want to do that. I get you want to build the story and do certain things, but you slow the pace down a little bit too much, you start to go to sleep on it and kind of forget about it. So
I mean, look, people were complaining about the first couple of episodes of The Mandalorian feeling like filler. And for me, it was like, you can't really call them. There's so many Easter eggs in there for people who know what's going on that you can't really call anything filler until you see how the rest of it plays out, because they're dropping seeds in those early episodes that have been paying off later on. So we just have to kind of wait and see. There's stuff that they're paying off now that happened in the first season. So, there's things that could happen in like episode 3 of The Falcon and Winter Soldier that pay off in a completely different series, for that matter, or in a movie. So it kind of remains to be seen. Right now, I feel like we're just going to have to wait and see how it plays out. So let's talk about the movies. We're going to get to that Star Wars line.
Don't worry, because there's just as much to that.
We got to finish this Disney stuff first. All right, so one of the big things is Black Panther 2, the confirmation that they will not recast Chadwick Boseman T'Challa.
Respect.
Absolutely. This is something that we talked about on the show before. Sin, you and I talked about it.
Very recently
on the Butler Did It podcast, Adam Butler, and how we felt about it. I absolutely feel like this is the right move to not recast him. But they have also already said that they are not going to do like a CG version of him. So what that means to me is somebody's got to be taking his place. The question is who, and how many people in the room think it's Shuri. Do they bring back Michael B. Jordan?
I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
It wouldn't be surprised. Like
I said it on the Butler Did It podcast. He's hot right now in Hollywood, so I won't be surprised if they try to find a way to bring him back somehow with multiverses happening and everything to, jump on that train. I would not be surprised. As long as it's written right, I wouldn't be. As long as it's written right and it feels right, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, definitely with the multiverse of madness, maybe we could see the version of him, actually growing up, living in Wakanda. That would be an interesting feel. And, Maybe somehow, you know what, the family ties are in there. You know what, he is actually the one maybe that picked up the mantle of Black Panther, and we get to see, you know, this version of Panther. Maybe it's only like a subtle type of thing where we only like see it for all of a few minutes, but you know what, they acknowledge the fact that, you know what, in this other life, you know, he grew up, had the whole family around him. He wasn't just left out there by himself to fend for, and he just becomes like this awesome leader of a person. Like I think there's a lot of potential in doing that, but at the same time, you don't necessarily, I don't think, want to do it the wrong way, because that could leave some sour taste in people's mouths. But I definitely think that would be an interesting thing to explore.
I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. If they don't make Shuri the Black Panther, there's going to be so much backlash.
Oh, I'll be a part of that.
I don't care. I don't care. What? Look, you could bring Killmonger back. You could say he's from another multiverse. You could say he was a Black Panther somewhere else. He could show up just to help out, maybe to show her the ropes or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't make Shuri, like, people were calling for it before Chadwick Boseman passed away. If they don't make Shuri the Black Panther, then whatever they do with her has to be so important, so crucial. Like, she better be bringing Vision back to life and be so busy doing that.
That takes away.
And it has to be so integral to the rest of what's going on. Like,
nah, I'm with Fury now, doing sword with him. Like, we got some bigger stuff. I don't got time to be doing that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Like, I can't be down there with y'all, whatever. Because I could stomach them making M'Baku the Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
I could stomach it, because essentially he has a redemption story that came at the end of the end of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if they don't make Shuri the Black Panther, that's gonna end up looking bad.
That backlash is going to be next.
It's gonna be really real,
tight,
really real. Look, so a new Ant-Man and the Wasp film, Quantumania. So again, still dealing with multiverse stuff.
Yep.
Everybody's back.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we're gonna get our introduction of Kang the Conqueror, which is, again,
that's who
kind of a big deal.
Dude is rumored to be playing.
Say again?
Isn't that who the guy from Lovecraft?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, he's
Jonathan
rumored,
Majors.
Yeah, he's rumored to be playing Kang.
I mean, what I've read has that it's not a rumor anymore.
Yeah,
that is what it is. That it has been confirmed that he is going to be playing Kang the Conqueror. Which, look, I mean, Kang is purple. So I guess if you have a young white male playing Iron Lad, and Iron Lad is supposed to become Kang, and you can pull that off.
Mm-hmm.
But Ant-Man being the one that's dealing with Kang, and Kang's ability to travel through time and deal with different dimensions and so forth, it's kind of crazy. And realistically, Ant-Man
sounds like the perfect candidate for it.
Well, he was the one that essentially saved the day in the last one. If you really, you can say what you want about Captain America and him standing up for that fight at the end, but the fact of the matter is, it's Ant-Man. It's really the reason why
it's kind of the Quantumverse.
But it's kind of Ant-Man. It's really kind of that mouse. Had the mouse not have stepped on the button, Ant-Man wouldn't have come back, and he wouldn't have had all those awesome theories. But yeah, right. we can say it was Ant-Man though. Let's just say
he wasn't smart.
No,
we had to find the smart
what
person.
What I mean
to
more than anything
together.
is that it's his film that is the film that gave us what we needed to basically be able to defeat. Yeah. So this Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and its tie into WandaVision and Spider-Man. I don't know what they doing, but this Spider-Man joint, it has to have home in the title somewhere. That's you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to. I just want to make a list like all the
Spider-Man 3, a multitude of homes or something like. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Away from home,
home sweet home, whatever, dog.
It's gotta have
home
like home. Right. Yeah, it's got to be in there.
Right now, the potential of those three things tied together is probably bigger than everything else they're doing.
I agree.
It basically gives them the open door to do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Mutants, yay it or nay it. You know what I'm saying? Inhumans, yay it or nay it. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it happened or it didn't. Like, they can do whatever they want. And the idea of bringing back the other two Spider-Men and their villains,
the fact that
basically making those films canon, means they probably are going to have to bring back Venom, probably both of them.
But
obviously we have a Carnage.
Yep, we do.
It's out of control. Right now, all we're missing is like Willem Dafoe.
And there's been rumors about that now surfacing. And I'm like, oh,
I'm gonna throw up. Okay.
Oh yeah, so, you are.
Let me just say, again, the potential of having a 2099, a Miles, a Gwen, any of them, really, because again, Tom's time is about to be up.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? We need to get a camera faced on him when he's watching this third Spider-Man movie just for his reaction when stuff happens.
This third Spider-Man movie, obviously one, potentially is going to be the best out of all the Spider-Man. Now, the only issue comes, we've seen where you can do a lot and do too much inside of one movie.
What? Yes.
Yeah, so this is something, just the sheer amount of what is potentially happening here. The way that this is going to be done is going to have to be, damn near flawless. Because, granted, you can just throw in, like, hey, Spidey gets just thrown in this random universe and he just starts seeing another Spider-Man fighting, like, Doc Ock or whatever it is. It could just be something as that, but for you to be pulling all of, like, these villains from each one of the three different franchises of Spider-Man, potentially having all three Spider-Men on screen together at the same time, it's like, this is one of those mind-blowing type things that, like, just, how do you put this
of a dope time that we're in where you can actually pull that off?
I
pull
agree.
All three of these franchises that we've been watched since the beginning all together in a film. Like, that's just crazy.
The only thing that I don't know if this is a thing. Like, I just feel like for Toby, like, they bring him back, like, we've seen Uncle Ben pretty much in 2 of the 3 universes. We haven't necessarily seen Tom Holland's Uncle Ben. Is maybe that he sees Toby Peter and, like, he thinks he's Uncle Ben or whatnot ever because he looks like him, and maybe they use him as being that third Uncle Ben. Like, I don't want to see Uncle Ben die again. That I do not want to see.
Yeah, I don't think we'll get Uncle Ben at all.
No. But I just think that would be something kind of cool to explore, just for the fact that we haven't seen, Tom talk about, Uncle Ben or anything like that. I just think, he would be, that would kind of be maybe the way to write it in there. I don't know. There could be many ways, but there's just so many potentials here that, like, things could be done incredibly awesome, and there could be some things that just go completely wrong.
Yeah, again, whatever it is, those 3 films are the setup for whatever's happening in the rest of the MCU. Or the payoff.
I see you, J. Robert.
I don't know what J. Roberts is talking about.
I'm not 100%, but I'm.
I told him, listen, that's because I was in their stream last night. Mm-hmm. He thought it was you.
But it wasn't. Gotcha.
And I told him it was me. He must have just missed it. Yeah. We certainly could see him just walk past Uncle Ben. Although Uncle Ben's rice, I don't think exists anymore. I think they got rid of that.
Yeah, it's just Ben.
They got him up out of there.
It's just Ben's now or something like that.
So.
Yeah. In realistically, the worst thing about everything they announced is this Fantastic Four movie.
Easily.
Should we even talk? Let's not even talk about that.
The only thing I'll say is, in Feige we trust. Like, that's the only thing that we can say. But
nope.
Look, of course, we're gonna watch it, but we don't have hopes.
We don't have a choice.
So not high, but
We don't have a
tie
choice.
in everything else. So you got to sit down and
We need Doctor
So
Doom.
make another
Somehow they
attempt
could have just threw Doctor Doom in, but because I feel like Doctor Doom's going to just pull okey doke somewhere in one of these movies, and take somebody's powers to do something. Just being typical Doctor Doom. Like, I don't know. Still,
no dog, no Doctor Doom. Move on, dog. We've had enough of that. Like they've done it. It's overdone. We had enough. We don't really need them. We'll see what happens, but I don't have any. I don't have any faith. I'm kind of over it. Man, let's talk about Star Wars. Let's talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes.
You sound excited, Jokes. Why?
Hey,
why are you so excited about Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Just for the fact that Hayden Christensen is coming back as Darth Vader. Like, I don't know. Apparently, I guess a lot of people have some hate against him or whatnot ever. Like, I thought he did the Anakin role. I thought he did it well. I think he did what he needed to do to bring Vader to that point of coming from the light side, turning to the dark side. I just want to see an epic rematch between the two of them. Like, maybe like that one in between the very last one where Obi-Wan just goes out.
Well, even McGregor said they're going to have one more before it's all said and done.
I'm fine with that because the prequels gave us the absolute fire of lightsaber fights. And, like, I just want one more of those. Like, we didn't get anything like that in the current trilogy. Obviously, Kylo and Rey were just, like, they're learning. I don't know what you want to consider. But I just want to see one of those lightsaber fights one more time.
Let me... Ooh, boy. So, Vader. Let me just do this right now.
Do it.
Darth Vader is absolutely the worst Sith Lord we have ever been given. Period. Worst dude. Weakest dude. Of all of them. We have been following and watching this dude's story, and it's not all his fault. We talk about this.
I know, but I don't think he's the worst. I don't think he's the worst. I just think that the way they showcase their powers and everything now, since the original ones,
that's my point.
Since the original ones that come out, is just
the only reason why I'm excited about this at all is because the threat that Darth Vader is supposed to be, we have never actually really seen. He's never actually really been a threat. So, for the first time, we have an opportunity outside of like relatively new comic books.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And novels that for the most part aren't even canon anymore. They're legend. That's cool. Darth Vader, this is our opportunity to actually see Darth Vader be the badass they have made him out to be.
Right, right.
The way that those early films were filmed when they were actually Jedi Knights. They weren't samurai. They weren't ninjas.
Mm-hmm.
Their swordplay was garbage by comparison. Everybody we've seen since then, in animation and so forth, has been a better sword fighter, has been a stronger force user.
No.
Everybody.
Animated stuff, fire. No, I give you that.
It's just Darth Maul, most underused in a film. Darth Vader, most overrated in a film. In multiple films. Realistically. And so there is potential in a show about Obi-Wan for us to really see who, like Ahsoka, much higher on the she's a badass list than Vader, technically. Like, just off the strength of who she is and what we know she knows and what she's done in the shows that we've been able to see her in, even just in what we saw her do in the very short amount of time in The Mandalorian. Raw.
Straight up.
But she's trained by this dude.
Yep.
So somebody show me what this dude can do. Because we've never seen it.
You're right. And
you understand what I'm saying? Like, we've never seen it. So, like...
You see it a little bit in Rebels.
A little bit. Like, there's really one fight.
But he goes after Ahsoka. And
yeah,
they have their battle in...
That's really it. Like, I was... That's really it.
But for all intents and purposes, Grievous was a bigger threat. And Grievous has no powers. No force powers whatsoever.
He just put the pause. He just put the pause on these Jedi.
A monster,
he just put the pause on these Jedi.
Grievous, like I said, when Grievous gets on all four, you done. When he starts getting to that bag, it's a wrap.
If Grievous put the sabers away,
still
then
body.
he took from all the Jedi he slayed. Y'all want them bars, bro? And get down on all fours. It's over, bro. Like, real talk. Hey, listen.
Grievous a savage.
I don't care. Asthmatic or not, this dude.
Are you wild?
Ouch.
Listen. It's J. Robert Dean's. Let him have it. It's cool. He
showed me that people with asthma can whoop people's asses too.
But let me tell you something.
When
you watch that original animated Clone Wars, that Genndy Tartakovsky joint from Cartoon Network, and watch the threat that Grievous was. Like, I like Ventress better than Vader. Dooku's better than Vader. Like everybody Jedi like better than Slim. Everybody Jedi like better than him. If you played any of the games, like Force Unleashed, the Padawan under him, like you see him develop Force powers and actually pull. Like, you never really get to see Vader do none of that kind of stuff. The most you really get to see him do is a solid Force choke.
That's about it.
And that's it. Even when they brought him in the most recent films, he walked in the room and Force choked somebody. That's it. That's what you do. Because last time I checked, it was a little Bama named Grogu was Force choking Bamas in a room, chucking them around like they was nothing, dog.
Dog, he wrecked.
He was bodying dude.
Dog, I was dying on the couch.
Dog, my man used all the power in his body and then passed out.
They got it. They just like this Obi-Wan joint. I need that Vader. I don't know if Hayden Christensen can pull it off, but that's the Vader I'm looking for. Like, I'm looking for that. Oh snap, Vader's coming. Y'all better get low.
I did the same thing too, Brooks, because of that. Ran through Clone Wars and Rebels back to back.
Man, y'all should have been on that beforehand. Like,
well, no, the thing was, when Clone Wars first came out, I wanted to hate it. I didn't like the animation. I didn't like what they were doing it. I did not want to like it. So I probably watched the first season and a half. It was like, whatever with this joint. Mm-hmm. But with everything going on now, I was like, you know what? Let me go back because now it's all tied in. It's canon. I need to know what's going on. And sitting on the couch last 2 weeks watching that in Rebels, I fell in love with them shows. Good on
Rebels. Like, at one point,
so good.
Like, I had like the first couple episodes of Rebels on digital.
Who need to revisit Rogue One? Because if you're talking about Vader at the very end of that joint, where he slayed a bunch of regular rebel bammers that were shooting at him, threw one dude against the ceiling, and still didn't manage to catch the person that had the freaking plans. Slim's flute.
What have you done with those plans?
Slim flute. You know what I'm saying? He's flute. They were scared. And rightfully so, because they're regular rebel bammers who can just barely shoot better than clones. Barely. Hey, look.
Enjoy.
So the Mandalorian, Rangers of the New Republic, spinoff joint. Ahsoka getting a show.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Only took one episode.
I mean, it was bound to happen.
I get it, but it's like that was just like,
because they even set up like more with her and everything in that episode.
Dog, they set up the universe just with the end battle that she did at the end of that episode. Like,
facts. Name dropping Thrawn. Like, they did so much with like. So look, all right, Bad Batch.
I'm so amped for Bad Batch.
That's gonna be dope.
I'm so amped for Bad Batch.
And that's
just coming off of watching it too, like knowing who they are. It's like, oh, like that trailer had me like, yes, that's straight all Bad Batch. I need it.
Yeah. And then Andor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hey, listen. I think Cassian Andor might be the Han Solo show we really want.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we know what happens to him, but what he was up to and what he was doing leading up to Rogue One, I think there's a
and what
ridiculous
seeds he
amount.
might have planted and stuff like that. And who knows what shows will develop out of that one, just to keep the story going and the lore going with what he did in that year.
Absolutely. Let's see. They announced the Acolyte.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm actually really intrigued about that. Going back to some older time, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing what goes up.
Yeah, you need to give Rogue One another try. That.
I'm probably least excited about this droid story.
Yeah.
To do C-3PO. I mean, look, Disney, they kind of know what they're doing with this. I remember when people were afraid that Disney was going to ruin the Star Wars franchise when they bought it. They just like kind of have a grip on this, and every time they introduce a new droid, it becomes uber popular, and everybody wants one, and they sell like crazy toys and plushes and all that kind of stuff. So like,
they gotta knock it out the park when it comes to developing droids, like their personalities, their little quirks and stuff like that. They always seem to work, no matter like what movie they're from, whether it's Solo, you know, the old ones, R2-D2, whatever. Even when they put them in games now, like they just
yeah.
So I feel you as far as like not being excited about it, but I know, you know, all the droids that we've seen over the years, like okay, I can leave some room for this
one. There's not a lot of detail about the Acolyte. The only thing they've really said about it is that it's set in the High Republic era of the franchise, and that the person who created the show or the movie Russian Doll is helming the series. Leslie Headland. As far as the droid story, the only thing they've really said is that it's going to be a new droid or a new. It doesn't say a new droid. It says a new hero alongside R2-D2 and C-3PO. So it doesn't even mean that they're introducing a new droid. It could be that they're not. But I'm gonna just say, if you watch Rebels, there's some droid antics in that joint.
Yes.
I mean, they have something. You know what I mean? As far as that's concerned. So, Star Wars Lando, I think is interesting because they're calling it an event series. They're not calling it a series or a show. They're calling it an event series, which probably means it's like 3 episodes. I do think that's going to be like 2023. All I saw was that they said it was a new project. I didn't actually see a time frame for Acolyte or for Droid Story. Probably they want us to. I already forgot Dio. Let's just leave it that way. Acolyte could be. You know, there's a lot of stories. You know, a lot of that early stuff. Depending on the time frame when it takes place, does involve a lot of times like a Jedi that falls to the Sith Order or something along those lines. So it could be something like that. It's totally possible. Now this anime anthology series,
Visions.
Sin, man.
Hey, look, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's going to be just like the Animatrix and Batman Gotham Knight when they did those. It's going to be along the same vein, bunch of short stories by popular, you know, directors throughout anime and everything. So I think it's going to be just like those other ones. You may not mess with every story, but you'll get like a couple of them that you're like, oh, that was really tough. That was really hard. I really messed with that. I'm expecting the exact same thing, but I'm still looking forward to it.
Things that'll end up being legend. So of everything they announced for Star Wars, I'm probably most excited about Rogue Squadron. As a fan of the early game, the fact that it's a movie and not a show, I'm not like overly excited that Patty Jenkins is doing it. But she's kind of made her path with what she's done with both Wonder Woman film. Well, what she's done with one, the other remains to be seen. Actually, we're supposed to be watching that tonight. I was offered tickets to go see that tonight at the theater, and I was like, nah.
Just wait a couple more days.
Yeah, it's next week. I'm good. I also don't expect it to be that good. But we'll see. Yeah, Rogue Squadron. Here's the thing. They made a very specific effort to show that Patty Jenkins is the one who's doing this. They are putting a lot behind her as far as this is concerned. There are a couple of reasons for that I'm gonna dig into. One, I think it was good if you watch, I guess it's a teaser, and you get to see Patty talking about growing up, being in the military, that her father was a fighter, that he flew planes in the military, that she grew up around it, she grew up with a love for it, and that this is an opportunity for her to do things that she's loved. Like, she's been looking since she became a director to find the right story to tell. I'm going to say more or less that wasn't Top Gun, about, fighter pilots and her ability to combine her love of fighter pilots with Star Wars. I think is a big deal, and showing that the person who's at the helm of something has a deep love for it as a whole is important. The other thing I think is super important about this is two things. One, it means that they snatched Patty Jenkins away from Warner Brothers, which is probably an additional middle finger to what Warner Brothers HBO Max did just prior to this. Two, it also probably means that she's in it for quite some time. They probably have her locked in for more than just this film, whether that means a sequel, a show, or whether it means that she moves into directing something for the MCU, because remember, it's all Disney. It's kind of a major get for them. So I think there's more to them going as far as they did to make a not trailer for a film that doesn't come out until 2023 at the earliest. And we're talking the end of 2023. They that's a lot for them to do. So to me, there's more to that. Does it have to center on Wedge? Hey, Ellis. Once a show, I offer to kick you out the chat.
I seen that beat. Oh my God.
I saw it.
Oh man. Listen, I would love for us to see more Glover as Lando. I think we will. I'm pretty sure that they'll try to tie him up for that. I think it makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, I think they definitely were pushing it out. Jimmy, get out of the comments. Get out of the comments and go back to work, Jimmy. This Taika Waititi Star Wars movie, what do we think it is? Because that's the other thing. We already knew that Taika was doing a film. And we didn't get a Taika trailer about how big of a deal or how happy he is to be doing a Star Wars. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they really pushed it with Patty. I think there's something more there. What do we think Taika's doing?
Possibly the next trilogy, at least like the first one.
But is it just me, or do I feel like they should have the same person do all three films?
I'm with you.
I'm 100% on that.
I'm with you on that.
Like, just
Isn't
for
that
the
not where they went wrong with the last ones?
I fully agree with that.
Absolutely where they went wrong with the last ones.
Because I mean,
everybody had their own vision of what they wanted to do, and
it just messes up everything. Like, I get with certain things, you can change directors on it, but for something like a Star Wars, like, to try to have that consistency go through each one of them, and then stories get changed, and then by the time you get to the third one, you're trying to retcon and go back and fix stuff and change it to the way that you really want it to be. Like, no, I feel like when you know there's a big scheme plan of how you want to do something, unless it's supposed to be like a one-off, you're gonna put this out, it's done and whatnot ever, you should keep it consistent. Obviously, I get in Hollywood things happen, and you know what, certain people you got to replace directors or whatnot ever. But if you can keep somebody on, especially for the whole trilogy, I think it's got to be done that way, because otherwise you get inconsistencies. One director doesn't have, just like Sin said, that vision goes away. So whereas you have this plot line of where you were trying to end up at, you end up going from A to D, and then you skip B and C trying to get there, and then you try to go back to B to get the D, and then you have to come back to see. Like, it just doesn't work.
It was all over the place. Sin and I had a conversation about, oh yeah, no, we did not talk about how there were people who had no idea that they were in certain things until it was announced.
That's awesome.
During the event.
Look,
that's not a bad way to find. Like, it's different if you find out you were fired. That way. But like, but knowing you got the job that way,
fired on a Friday while you was at home.
Yeah. You know what, Jay Roberts, I wouldn't say that you're wrong about that, because if you at least have one person write the entire thing, you do better. But I think what happens a lot of times is you have one writer write it, you bring different directors in who have a different vision for how that writing should be portrayed on screen.
Mm-hmm.
And then edits and cuts and things that get left on the floor that don't make it in the movie that, are a key part of something for the future or whatever. Like, I just think having the same director so that the vision remains the same, and so that person knows if this ends up on the cutting room floor, we have potential to make sure we fix it going forward somewhere else, or can add it, you know what I mean, or whatever. Like, I actually think that it's probably just as important. But all in all, it remains to be seen, because the reality of it is, regardless of what you think about them, the last trilogy made a lot of money.
That's facts.
So what up, Perp? Here's the thing. I think the project manager is Kevin Feige when it comes to MCU stuff, and I think it's Kathleen Kennedy when it comes to Star Wars stuff. So there is a person who is supposed to be the person that's overseeing everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I also think there's a lot happening. So right now, my biggest concern is that they really are beginning to treat these like comic books, where there are side stories and things that are tied into main stories that you like need to pick up somebody else's book to get the full story. But if you don't get the whole, if you don't read that issue, you're not going to miss the gist of it, kind of a thing. And when you have that many hands in the pot and that many projects going on, it is very easy for things to get lost. But when you're a company like Disney doing what you're doing, all you're trying to do is keep people in your ecosystem. That is the key and biggest thing right now, is keep people in your ecosystem. Make Disney Plus the go-to ecosystem for all the things you want for the next 3 or 4 years, because HBO Max and Peacock and everybody else and Netflix all have something that they're working on. None of them have slates like this. Nobody has things that are tied together like this, where it's like, if you watch one, you really should watch the other, and you need to watch the next one. Like, nobody else has this. And so with
so much lore tucked behind it too, like from all these years of people growing up with these, like from our parents to now. Like, nobody else has that kind
Star Wars. It's like, finally, once we kind of stepped away from doing like the Skywalker thing, and they finally decided to try to branch off and do other things. Because I mean, throughout all the Star Wars time that we've watched these movies, there's been so much things going on in the sides that, like, you see a glimpse of something, and it's just like, yo, that's kind of cool, and then you never heard from it again. So definitely on the Star Wars front, it's like the universe is more than just Jedi. Don't get me wrong, Jedi are the heart of Star Wars, but there's so much more to go to on there.
Are they though? I mean, realistically, the DNA, that Marvel DNA, that this is how we write books and have somebody kind of helm full stories that appear in other places, and we get touches of things that tie together, like that DNA is really beginning to bleed into the way that they're handling film and television, especially because of the kind of control they have, because they own the television. Disney's always had some of that because they owned ABC. So they could always kind of force stuff to their own network to make things work that way. But streaming services make it a whole new ball game, where you can do, like, if you can't do 6 episodes and make it a TV show that goes on regular network television. Like, that's just not a thing, right? It's not viable. But you can do that on a streaming service. And when you do it the way they've been doing it, which is opposite of what Netflix does, which is, here's the entire series, binge it at your own, you know what I mean? them going next week we'll give you another episode, and next week we'll give you another episode, and we really only need enough episodes to keep you outside of a month so we get that payment from you. We just need that second payment from you. We're not, you know what I mean? Like 6 episodes is the perfect amount to be like, we got you for a month and a half, Slim. And if a month happens to be 5 weeks long,
hey,
we got you. We'll just push the date, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But you're not going to start watching and then be like, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? For those people who like, let me try it, see what it is, and they immediately go in and cancel their subscription, they stick around because they want that last 2 episodes.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Let me see what else is here. Let me find out what else is going on. It's a very, very, very smart way of doing business and pulling people in. So I think that makes sense. So look, realistically, if you name a person who's supposed to be a powerhouse person, J. Robert Deans, who is supposed to be at the helm of what you're doing, and you bring in directors who have more power than them because they have more clout, they have a bigger name, you're not going to be able to control them. It's just not how it works.
Yeah.
So part of their issue was that they brought in really big names because they knew that those names would sell tickets. Period. That's what it is. They're going to sell tickets. They learn sometimes from that kind of stuff. The mistakes that were made with the X-Men films, the most recent X-Men films, were because they tried to sell ticket banking on one person's name. Because Hunger Games made her the most famous person on the planet for a period of time. So let's make the X-Men about somebody that it's not about at all.
Right, yeah.
Like
what?
Stupid. So I think, you know what? Look. You know what? I don't know about nothing happening for 5 episodes straight. Like, I don't know what 5 episodes you were watching, Perk. I don't know what you're referring to. But if nothing happened for 5 episodes straight, yeah, you should get out. But if you stayed for 5 episodes, you already gave them an extra payment. Because the first 4 was that month.
Yeah.
And that fifth one
So
got that
you
money
paid for it, so go ahead and ride the rest of that train and watch the rest of them. You in there.
It really is. It's a business move. And it's not dumb, for real. Look, Disney Animation. We're just going to kind of run through this. I'm not excited about much of any of this. Most of it's not coming out until the end of 2022 or 2023. A Baymax series, a Zootopia series, a Tiana series. I don't know if it's a series. They're doing something called Tiana that's based on Princess and the Frog. It doesn't say that it's a series. It just says premiering. So maybe it's a movie. A musical comedy for Moana. Encanto, which Lin-Manuel Miranda, you know, he sells. So if it's got his music in it, chances are it's gonna be fire and people are gonna like it. So here's the thing, Perk. Those 3rd, 4th, 5th episodes where things start to pop off, they're paying off things that happened in the first few. That's how they do it. It's smart. Like, if you pick up the first issue of any comic, really nothing happens. You get an introduction, and you get a cliffhanger. Like, that's how it works.
Yeah.
See, you know, holla at us next month. That's how they do. It's just a natural way of doing business. If they were doing it, you would feel the same way if they released all 6 episodes right away. You'd still be like, the first 3 joints didn't have really anything popping off. So it's really just about waiting. And what they want you to do is they want you to wait and pay them so that you stay.
Pay us.
Pixar, Disney Plus series. Honestly, I don't care about any of this except for Lightyear. And mostly because it's an origin story for Buzz Lightyear.
But it's technically not. But it's technically not Buzz. But
right, it's supposed to be about the person who was the inspiration for the creation of Buzz Lightyear.
And I'm cool with that.
Voiced by Chris Evans.
I'm cool with that.
Who is no Tim the Toolman Taylor. However, let's let him have it.
You may be done with Cap, but Disney said we ain't done with you though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, to do like some voice work or some other stuff like that, I think could be really cool. Look, Disney really. Yeah. Nah, that wasn't stuff jumping off. Because what is that? What is the importance of that spider?
That spider
I
was
think
just in the way.
I have a feeling that the payoff will come in the form of the 2 rebel fighters that we saw in that episode more than anything. Quite possibly. Ice Age getting a spinoff. Look, that's a Fox move.
Ice Age still?
Brother. Let's just
it's like Land Before Time. Like after a while, like Land Before Time was good, and then it kind of just like, why are we still doing this?
So here's probably the most important thing that overshadowed everything else that happened last week. The price for Disney Plus is going up. Starting in March.
We knew that was.
You know what has to happen.
It was going to.
But it's also going up as they pass like 86 million subscribers. It's a lot of money. But there's a lot happening.
So I'm happy I bought in with my 3 years. So.
Yeah, and look, here's the other thing. So again, you kind of have to keep in mind that Disney as an international company is trying to do things that appease all of the
all the markets, all the bases.
Yeah. So they announced that they have a replacement for Hulu for international Disney Plus subscribers. There's an issue with Hulu overseas, so they're launching a service called Star. We talked about that. So there's been a lot of rumors that Disney Plus and Hulu were going to combine into one service. That would still basically be one login and then choose your service kind of a thing.
Yeah.
It was a little weird. And considering right now you can get the 2 of those and ESPN Plus at one price, which also is going up.
Yep. I'm happy right now I'm on Verizon because I get it. So here's the cool thing though. So I bought in for 3 years for Disney Plus.
Right.
Now with my new plan with Verizon, I actually get Disney Plus. So I was kind of like, okay, this is irking me right now because I already paid for this 3 years. But come to find out what happens. So my 3-year subscription is on pause. So
after this.
Exactly. So let's say for whatever reason Verizon in 2 years decides to unpartner with Disney or whatnot ever, my subscription will just pick right back up and continue. So I'm technically, as of right now, I'm not paying for Disney Plus, Hulu, or ESPN technically. But if they ever unpartnered, I still will pick back up on that 3 year. And I'm only a year at this point?
A year.
Yeah, a year at this point.
Yeah.
So I'm Disney Plus in for a good long while.
That's a good thing because they're supposed to be adding like 50 new Marvel and Star Wars and Disney and Pixar series for like the next 2 years, and I'm just like, all right, all right, fine.
You got my money, like, Disney. You good?
Isn't that what I mean? But like, isn't that the thing that you want to hear? Like,
yes.
When you subscribe to something, when you subscribe to a service, when you're paying a service a monthly fee, you want to hear that new stuff is just going to keep coming. You know what I mean? And stuff that, for the most part, you're excited about. Like, even if you're not excited about all of it's not. Everything's not for everyone,
but
right?
It's there.
It's not like they didn't announce new stuff for National Geographic. I like that stuff. We're not going to talk about it here. Most of y'all probably don't care, even though they're bringing people who are in the MCU in to host stuff for National Geographic. Like, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like,
you got Hulu for Attack on Titan?
I'm happy with people y'all never heard of, hosting my National Geographic stuff. Like, I'm perfectly okay with that. But again, I just think, it's kind of important.
Yeah, that's weird jokes.
What's wrong, buddy?
Nah, Perk was like he only has Hulu for Attack on Titan. I'm just like, if that was the only reason why you have Hulu, you definitely need to switch to one of the Crunchyroll and Funimation pretty much about to become they're together now.
One thing now. Listen, I was getting ready to bring that up, so you might as well just go ahead and hit it.
Hey, folks. I'm psyched with this. So, Funimation has acquired Crunchyroll. as an anime person, Sony. I mean, yeah, Sony. But as an anime person, like, and I subscribe to both, I'm super excited for this. Just for the potential of eventually merging both the libraries, so having both this huge dubbed library and then also the sub library, and then being able to do like simul-dub, simultaneous releases and everything. I'm super psyched with that. I'm just at this point now, we're just waiting to kind of see how they're going to go about, if they're going to do like this merging, or if they're going to try to keep them separate. I don't know, but I'm really good to see how this is going to go. Definitely, I would say if you're only doing Hulu for Attack on Titan, do the free trial for Funimation, because you get Attack on Titan, and there's a bunch of other stuff in there that you probably will be interested in watching. I'm week to week on Attack on Titan as well too. If you're watching it dubbed, I mean, for the most part, it's all on Funimation, so you can get the dub one there. Obviously, if you're keeping up with it and you want the subbed, all the subs are there, so you're good to go on that side. But I'm eager to see how they end up taking these two and putting them together. Okay, so you watch Crunchyroll's from Verve. I mean, well, now I don't know how that's going to work out now, because I mean, Verve technically was its own thing, and they partnered with Crunchyroll, so I don't know if that whole combination connection thing will continue, or if they'll try to roll it in a different way.
There's a lot as far as that's going to be, because
oh no, I can agree with not being reliable.
Crunchyroll actually was, so Crunchyroll was owned by AT&T. So Sony bought Funimation like 2 years ago. Funimation is basically buying Crunchyroll for $1.18 billion. Okay, from AT&T. Which, again, we've talked about this multiple times. AT&T looking to sell off stuff that just ain't a thing for them. So they want that $1.18 billion. They're going to make it work one way or the other. But because AT&T owns HBO Max, Crunchyroll was providing the anime that was on HBO Max. So now, if Crunchyroll is being sold to Funimation,
yoink,
and Sony has Funimation, that anime could disappear from HBO Max,
unless they pay them,
which might be part of why they knew this was coming. And last week was just like, oh yeah, all the movies coming out at the same time, y'all. Y'all come to HBO. You know what I mean? Like,
they're about to get a whole chunk of it snatched off to go.
When you're gonna have, there's stuff that's on HBO Max that isn't on anything else but Crunchyroll. Anime has gotten to the point now where it's so much more than just niche. It's still super niche, but it's so much more than that you have people that would look at HBO Max and be like, oh, well, they got this and this, plus they got anime. Let me jump on that joint. Like, for me, it's been hard to get high-res digital versions of Miyazaki films for quite some time. They just recently made them available, but they're all on HBO Max.
Right.
All of them. And here's the thing. You can watch them subbed or dubbed. And more importantly, the way they made them digital, if you buy them digitally, you have to either buy the film subbed or you buy it dubbed. You don't buy one and get both audio tracks. You don't get that. It's the stupidest thing.
Stupid.
You must buy them at full price in order to get them, or you gotta have Plex, and that's a whole other ballgame. Realistically,
so I'll let y'all have this conversation.
But yeah, and you're right. But realistically, what they're trying to do is push Crunchyroll's international footprint, and they'll probably do it. I mean, they got 3 million subscribers.
All right.
That's. I mean, but listen, that's not the 89 million that Disney Plus has. You know what I'm saying?
No, them Crunchyroll numbers, they're going to jump up after after New Year's.
Well, if Crunchyroll continues to be a thing, it could just all roll in at Funimation and that be it.
Well, however, one of their numbers is going to substantially jump up after New Year's once all that piracy stuff hits over in Japan.
Ooh, yeah, when that.
Oh yeah.
When that hits,
yeah.
Oh, that's New
Year's it hits.
So it's like if you haven't gotten on one of them, you may want to just go ahead and start doing some of those free trials, testing them out, cause.
Yep. Start right now, especially over holiday season when they have these deals to get subscriptions and everything. Go ahead and pick one and jump in it.
Just buy anime. Xbox be having those anime sales that be randomly popping up, and I tell you, they be going some cheap stuff. Like y'all know, like if there's like a collector's edition of some things, I buy it.
You do. Target audience.
You're right. I truly wanted that. There was a Sword Art Online ordinal scale special edition, but if you guys know about physical media and anime, that crap ain't cheap for anything. So when ordinal scale showed up on Xbox for $3, I was like, oh, I will gladly take this.
Listen. Listen. You gotta get your digital movie fix wherever you can get it. Whoever got the best deal is where you should go.
Facts.
As long as you can remember to log in, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
who
really
has the content that you're looking for.
Yeah, like because at this point, that's what it comes down to. And I'm gonna be real with you. I really think it's only a matter of time before we start to see a lot of these streaming services start to go piecemeal, where they will allow you to get certain pieces of their content or buy certain things from them directly. Because the reality of it is, all of it is deals that are done through somebody else. I don't care who your streaming service is. TiVo owns all of it. And you think I'm joking?
No,
go to your streaming service
and see who is holding all that content on there. They say
who has the content.
They say
go to wherever you download it from.
Screw selling the box in store to cut consumers to do it. It's like, hey, let's just go to these big companies and like let's just give them our stuff for them to store it all on that way.
Bro, TiVo has been in secret power. Not even joking, for like 15, almost 20 years. Seriously. Once those boxes came out, look, Movies Anywhere is a good move. What Movies Anywhere needs, though, is a TV Anywhere. Because that's the thing that it's missing. They get that. Because, a lot of the stuff that I buy directly has a Movies Anywhere tie-in. Again, you're still getting content that comes from TiVo. Like, if you're looking to put money into someone, put it into TiVo. Because they own everything. Everybody who's doing any deal for any licensing, it all goes through TiVo. Like 98% of it goes through TiVo. Yes, TiVo is like Palpatine. And they have been. Like secret, like your cable box, I don't care who you have. I don't care if you have Dish Network, DirecTV, Comcast, Verizon, like that DVR tech, they own it. It's theirs. Period. Like it's theirs. So like TiVo has all of that content. So really they're all doing deals with them. You still have to get through the middleman in order to get to the content that you want. And that is going to become more and more prevalent. But as more and more streaming services pop up, in order to get people, even in their ecosystem in some manner, when trying to force you to pay them for a monthly fee doesn't work anymore, and they start to tell you, well, look, we'll let you buy the entire series from us, but you still have to log into us. You still have to, whatever. So, and then I'll be able to show you all the stuff you're missing. You'll be able to log into Netflix, but the only thing you can watch is Friends. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever it is. But we're going to show you all this other stuff. You know what I mean? That you're missing. And either you buy it from us directly or you give us a subscription. At some point, the idea of that, same thing y'all were just talking about, that free trial, that 1 month free trial, that 2 week free trial, that goes away. You can't continue to expect people. You could just keep making new email addresses. You really could. You know what I'm saying? With the same password and keep jumping in for a month. But real talk, at some point that has to go away. And so eventually you'll be able to get what you want. But for now, it's going to continue to be behind whoever's paywall is the one that put up the money to get the license for the time being because they don't have full ownership. There are a lot of licenses like that where it's on a particular service and that service doesn't even actually own the rights to it. They just have a license for it for a time being that keeps somebody else out of it. Hey, listen, Jay Roberts, Friends is an awesome show. Don't do that. It's a great show. It's actually my youngest daughter's favorite show. I don't know how it happened or why it happened, but it is definitely her favorite show. That and New Girl, which again, probably she really don't have no business watching them, but whatever. So look, let's take a minute. Let's give ourselves a little bit of time because again, we're not going to do a video game show this week. Let's talk a little bit about what happened in video games last week. Jokes, you won't know anything about this. So Sin, GTA 5 has a new heist.
It does. The K.O. Perico heist.
K.O. Perico heist. Give us the nitty gritty. We've been playing all day.
We have little mishaps, but you know it's cool. They added a whole new island in the game that you have to go catch a private jet to fly out to, and it's if you're into the heist in GTA, it is definitely intense. Like it's you get to the island and there's cameras and dudes with guns and jeeps and everywhere. You have to instead of like scouting like a small casino. It sounds funny to say that's small in comparison, but compared to running
it's an
around
entire island.
Yeah, I'm saying running around and like you know how to go scope the casino, but this is an entire island that you have to scope. That we spend most of the day just scoping it, trying to find all the entryway, all the access points, trying to find. It doesn't have like your cache or your paintings or whatever. It's not sitting in one central kind of space. It's spread out over the entire island. So you might go be looking in this building and it'd be a pile of cash right there. And then in the building across the street, it'd be a pile of cocaine, something like that. And then while you walk around, you got to try to find like guard suits and okay, it's a power station right here. We might be able to shut off the power. Like it's a lot to it, but it's dope. And you have to buy the submarine in order to play it.
2.2 million minimum.
I got you. I was about to say, what type of shark card I need to get? I'll go buy it.
Like you have to buy. That's the only way that, as long as somebody in your crew at least has it, that's how you would get back and forth to the island. You can't do it without it. So just know that.
The funny thing about it is, you don't even actually use the sub to get to the island.
You really don't. Even though we can use it to get away.
You get on a plane and the plane takes you to the island.
Fail.
You can use the sub as a way to infiltrate the island when it's time to do the heist itself. You can, but you don't have to. So really, it's just a way for you to spend money.
And I would say some of the beginning cutscenes of the heist will definitely put a smile on your face, especially if you're in the music.
Oh man, yo, they got new radio stations, bro. They added like 250 songs.
Jesus.
So like all the old stations got new songs, but they got a radio station that's just all old music from the old GTA games.
Oh, that's dope.
3, 4.
That's dope.
Yeah, it is. Listen, I want to shake the hand of the person who got stuck doing that licensing deal.
Ooh.
I was like you had to go back
jump through
and
hoops.
renew them licenses for all of those. That's some solid work right there. Yeah. So, Kyle Perico heist.
Yeah.
That's the big thing right now. And I'm gonna tell you how big of a deal it is. It got us off of Cyberpunk. And let me tell you about Cyberpunk. Yikes. It's okay.
Here's the thing. I'm enjoying it, but I'm frustrated at the same time.
I can agree with you on that.
So I keep going in and out because it's definitely one of those games. If you stop playing it, you're gonna forget how to play that game.
It's a lot going on.
Yeah, and they do
like The Witcher.
Well, I haven't gone through The Witcher, but I can understand from playing this. And they don't do a great job of telling you how to do things in the game. So I'll play it for a little bit, maybe like 30, 45 minutes, like, all right, my head's starting to hurt. let me go play something else that I could just easily push through.
Yeah.
And then come back and I just keep bouncing back and forth.
I agree. That's literally what I've been doing with Cyberpunk. Like, I get in, like I've been doing trying to do all the side stuff first before going on to some of these main jumps. But it's like you do them and you do a couple of things. I just get to the point where I'm just like, all right, I need to either I'm gonna go take a nap or I need to go start playing something else right quick.
And I don't get overwhelmed by stuff like that. I usually don't when we get maps and icons everywhere and all the stuff to do. It doesn't bother me. I look forward to that. But I think it's the lack of y'all not telling me how to do this properly or whatever that's frustrating me so much about it. I just think my patience is just
you're not gonna get an argument out of me.
But yeah, but it's by all means it's okay. Like I would say after all this time and the hype waiting for it as of right now, I'm not 100%, super antsy. Like, oh, I'm gonna stay on this. I'm gonna play this like crazy. Like, hopefully with some more updates and some more things coming. I guess probably after we get through. I know it's gonna take a while before we get through the story, but I'm eager to see where it goes.
Let me say this. I'm playing video games for a long time, and ever since the advent of Xbox Live and its ability to tell you what other people are doing. There are certain events that take place where you will turn on your box, and for days or weeks at a time, 90% of the people in your timeline are all playing the same game.
Thing.
Could be a single player game, could be a multiplayer game or whatever. Like, you'll turn on your box and you'll see more than half the people on there. Everybody's playing Warzone. Everybody's playing Call of Duty, right? Call of Duty just came out. You'll see it happen with Madden. Everybody, a yearly thing. Everybody's playing Madden. Everybody's playing NBA 2K, whatever. There are certain events that happen where there's not a yearly game. Something like Mass Effect 3. You came home, put it on. Everybody in your timeline on your console, everybody's playing Mass Effect 3. Everybody. Cyberpunk had that kind of potential. Cyberpunk did not do that. It didn't. I go through, I see a couple people here and there playing. It's popping day one, all day. You know what I mean? Like, you would see them all day long playing. I mean, this game is hundreds of hours of content. The game is also very broken for a lot of people. There are issues with people trying to get refunds because essentially CD Projekt Red, who up until now has had a very, very solid track record.
Definitely.
Reviews came out last week. It sat at like a 91 on Metacritic, which is cool, but they only had reviews for the PC version. They only sent out codes for the PC version of the game.
Smart.
Or not. Because now you have all these people who bought the game, and if you're on PS4 or Xbox One,
one of the base models,
One S or X,
disgusting.
You're playing a potato.
Yeah,
it's glitchy. There's tons of pop-in, characters jumping in and out of vehicles. Yeah. Like, it's actually disgusting. I don't think I've ever seen anything this bad. And CD Projekt Red issued an apology yesterday, essentially for deceiving all of these fans of theirs that have been waiting for this game. Remember, they pushed it back. It was supposed to be out already multiple times. And they even said, part of the reason why we're doing this is because we're trying to actually create this for like 9 consoles, which, fair. Still, you made a mistake, right? So they got patches. They put out this whole thing. Patches are supposed to be coming, whatever. But they also said you can get refunds. But they're not issuing refunds. They literally said in their apology statement, go back to the store you bought it from and try to get a refund. If you don't want to wait for these updates, if you're not happy with the game, go back to the store. Try to get a digital refund through your PlayStation or Xbox store. Try. If you bought a physical copy, try to get a refund.
Ain't happening. From
the store you bought it from. And then they have an email address. If you have trouble getting a refund, email us at try to get a refund at cdprojectred.com.
Oh my God.
All right.
Okay.
and you have to do it by December 21st.
Okay.
Now hold on. You've been taking pre-orders for a year, and you only giving people a week to get a refund on a game that doesn't work. And here's the thing.
Yeah, because people could have it for Christmas presents sitting to the side.
Exactly. That joint could be purchased and waiting for somebody to open on Christmas Day. It's no good.
And son, they may not even know. Like some
CD
people are just
Projekt
buying
Red.
it for like their significant.
Red.
They buying it for like their significant other, and they don't necessarily know about it. They just know, hey, they asked for Cyberpunk, and that joint's just sitting in the closet. Like, ugh.
Are you enjoying Immortal Phoenix Rising? Listen, I had my eye on it.
I passed on it.
It just seemed like a lot for me right now. Like, I do want to get it, but it also feels like a joint that might end up on Game Pass.
I said the same thing.
So I'm kind of waiting on that. But I'm very interested to hear what you think about that, Alfonso.
I went ahead and while trying to jump in and out of Cyberpunk, I actually went ahead and finally downloaded Tony Hawk. So I've been playing that.
Did you? I thought you had that already.
I didn't get. I don't know what something else came out when Tony Hawk did, and I got it. I don't remember what it was at that time, but I went ahead and did it because they had a Game Award sale. It's like $10 or something like that. Yeah. So I went ahead and downloaded that and started playing because I've been trying to get back into Call of Duty Cold War, but I have this stupid damn game breaking glitch. Like I can't even boot the game up. Right. So
you got a game breaking glitch in Cold War?
Cold War. So for some reason, and I don't understand. Clearly, it's something they're working on in the background. I guess they're probably trying to do an expansion with it. So Blackout, which has absolutely nothing to do with Call of Duty Cold War, it gives you an error when you boot into the game saying that the trial is over and you need to purchase the whole entire version of Cold War in order to play it. Yes. I have the whole game loaded up. Now, mine, because I only paid $10. I actually got the physical copy of Call of Duty, which I do not do this. I paid $10 and I got the physical edition, but apparently this is with the digital too. So either one didn't make a difference. For some reason, and I can see what the issue is, but I guess they don't know how to fix it yet. The game itself seems like it's not communicating, and apparently this is only an Xbox thing. It's only an Xbox thing. It's not communicating with the store. So when you go into the store, like it'll show like you manage and you own this game. Like it will show it to you, but it shows almost another way that you don't own the game. So
like it tells you to install it or something.
So if you do, like say if you go to all your games and you do manage game and you go in, it'll show that you have it downloaded on the console. Right. If you go back into the store and actually do manage, it tells you the game is not on the console and it asks you to install it. If you
do me a favor, Jokes, while you're talking about this. I just threw a link in Teams about the CD Projekt Red refunds. Can you take that and dump that into the chat for me, please?
I got you. Let's see if Teams works because Teams has been acting funky on the computer.
If I need to send it to you another way, just let me know. I can drop it to you.
But it shows if you go into the store, it looks like you haven't even purchased it, and it will like when you go to download it, it does absolutely nothing.
I've had that issue with Xbox on other titles.
Yeah, I was thinking, was it the same thing you had?
And here's what I think, Jokes. I think part of that is because you and I specifically are in the alpha skip ahead.
I thought the same thing.
And I think it has to do with that fact because I was actually able. So the last time I had that issue, I was actually able to get the game to download on my old console, and transfer it to a hard drive, and then take that and move it using that, and then it read just fine. Like I had that issue when I pre-ordered Avengers. I had that issue with Cyberpunk. Because remember, you're supposed to have that early. It's supposed to drop at like 7. It wouldn't let me play it till midnight. So I've had that issue with a couple of things where like you go to the store and it says you own it, then you click on it and it tells you to install, but then when you look in your hard drive, it shows that it's already installed. Like I've had that issue a couple of times over.
Yeah, and I thought that was my first immediate reaction was the fact that I was like, oh, I'm in alpha. I probably got a glitch. But other people are complaining about it that are not within any of the skip ahead program whatsoever. So, I've already done the uninstall, reinstall good stuff, but that doesn't do the trick. So supposedly when they do this update for tomorrow for the new season, it's supposed to fix it. I'll boot it up and see if it does. I won't be playing it tomorrow, but
I know you're paying.
But like, it's just one of those things where you're sitting here like, I have this whole game on my console and I cannot play this joint right now, and it is pissing me off.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I don't like that at all.
Oh, that's weird.
Okay.
Weird. Jokes. The frozen.
Audio okay with it. It might be from
Sin finally blink.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Listen. Last week was a busy week for video games too. On the same day that Disney dropped all the news they dropped, we had the Game Awards. Last of Us Part 2 basically swept every category they were in.
Pretty much.
Probably mostly well deserved.
Interesting. Hey, B, hold that thought for 1 second. I'm gonna switch off and switch back because I want to see if this just kicks in right quick. Because I see how it's frozen right now. Hold on, it's weird.
Okay.
Yeah, that fixed it. So we good.
Okay.
You broke it and you fixed it.
Hey,
as long as you fixed it.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. So, Last of Us cleaned up, which again I think probably pretty deservedly so. Ghost of Tsushima did pretty well. Got a couple things. Probably the biggest surprise. I mean, maybe it was a surprise, but the thing that probably made me the happiest was watching the Among Us get the awards that they got. For a game they worked hard on that's like 2 years old, that kind of came out of nowhere in COVID time. I just think
that was amazing.
It was really good to see them. I see the emotion that they had for getting the recognition for creating a game that actually really is really good, but just was having a hard time standing out amongst. It's like a 4-person development team. It's just hard to stand out against.
Big game development
that are a couple hundred, or whatever. So yeah, I think that was pretty awesome. Music was awesome.
They always do good music.
I'd like to see the Game Awards keep going. I think ideally what we saw from the Game Awards would be the way that E3 should probably happen next year.
Agreed.
All in all, though, right now, most of what's happening in video games will be pretty quiet. A lot of good Game Pass stuff coming. And we'll be kind of quiet for the next couple of weeks. But before we wrap up, what I want to say, Jokes, were you able to drop that into the chat? Because I don't see it.
Yeah, Teams is what just caused that on the PC, so I'm not even going. Yeah, it was Teams, so I'm not gonna try to open that back up.
All right, so
I'll say if you want to drop it in the chat on one of them, and I can grab it and I can put it right back so everybody can see it.
I could try that. Yeah, I'll get it to you. Give me a second. So, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to text it to you. So, yeah. So, I think that the next couple of weeks, again, are going to be quiet for us. We are going to, for New Year's, you should get that in a second, Jokes. Hopefully.
Yeah, I got I actually just forwarded to my email and just copy and paste it right from there.
All right. So we won't do shows next week. We will do a weekly the following week. So no, we won't be on next Tuesday. We won't be on next Thursday. We will be on the following Tuesday. So we'll be on the 29th. The 31st, we are going to live stream for New Year's. So every year we get together and we do something called Popeyes in Pajamas.
Yes.
It's a really good time. We all gather. We all everybody drives to Popeyes, picks up whatever they want to have. A bunch of stuff for everybody. A bunch of chicken, a bunch of biscuits, red beans and rice, whatever it is you want to get. Thank you, Jay Roberts. We will do that again this year, though we will be in our pajamas in our own homes with our own Popeyes. And we will be streaming. We'll be playing video games, which is what we do. We usually hang out, play video games, play board games, stuff like that. Just kind of hang out and have some fun or whatever, do a little drinking and what have you.
There we go.
So we're going to do that again. We've also decided that since we're doing that and we'll be on for a few hours, we might as well also do Extra Life again. So we are going to start taking donations again for Extra Life going into New Year's, because it's not like just because the first event is over, there aren't still kids who are still in a hospital and COVID's back and people can't go visit them and they're stuck there for the holidays. Absolutely. And going into New Year and all that kind of stuff too. So we just thought it would be a good opportunity for us to keep pushing that specifically. So Thursday the 31st, the last day of 2020, as we march into 2021, we're going to do it together with our Popeyes and our pajamas.
Yep.
And we're going to play some games and have a good time and take some donations, and Sin's going to shave because his donations are almost where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, we ain't letting that go, Sin. You going to do it. I'm happy mine finally came back. Like that was a horrible little time.
See where you're still struggling up top a little bit.
I am a little bit still struggling because I told you how long it took me to finally get that to come in. So yeah, it's on the mend, but it's going to take some time.
Hey, saying you burned him with that joint. He was hot.
He was a little bit. I told y'all.
Hey, it's not like Deadpool. It's taking a while, but it'll come back soon. Not fully, J. Robert. Not fully.
Nah.
Nah.
Not really. It's not.
Boy's struggling.
It's not really there, almost at all.
But you can see. Like, you can at least.
It's
see.
like Grogu using the Force. Like he got passed out for a few days after.
Hey, that's a good. It starts to grow back and then it just passes out.
One little hair at a time.
You got some hair tonic, bro. You can rub on that joint. I'll be real with you. You know what? It's probably partially just because you got your face covered half the day.
That's true too. Yeah.
Like seriously, like it's probably just, you know. So yeah. So again, no show this Thursday.
I'll help.
Don't strain your eyes. Don't hurt your eyes, J. Robert. So no show this Thursday. No shows next week. We want to wish everybody a happy holiday. If you celebrate Christmas, happy Christmas. If you celebrate Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa. If you're in the throes of Hanukkah right now, then happy Hanukkah to you, or whatever it is you celebrate. If you don't celebrate it, happy non-celebration to you as well, because not everybody does, and we love you all just the same. So everybody, please enjoy your families, enjoy your time. We'll see y'all in a couple of weeks. 2 weeks from today, specifically. We'll see y'all again. All right. So, Sin, you have a job to do.
That's right. Let's shout out our top tier Patreon, starting with Anthony Cunningham, Marcus Houston, Susan Dortch, and Tyrone Carson. We thank you very, very much. We truly appreciate it.
That's a real thing. We will be filming stuff during this hiatus because we still have like our Patreon show we got to do and all that for this month. So we'll get that done. Jokes, you got a job to do?
I do. Job complete.
Appreciate it if you did that. Look at that there. Did you update it?
I updated it. Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, that one video that's on TikTok is at like 90,000 views. Straight up. She's telling you the truth. Trying to help you. You know what I mean? Yeah, that thing's at like 90,000 views or something like that. People just like to watch me be upset, I guess.
Hey,
or they get upset at me. It's a thing. Definitely a thing. What's up, Nichelle?
Hey.
Listen, we love you, but we can ready to leave. It's almost over. But we happy to see you anyway. So yeah, listen. Again, like I say at the end of every show now, if you're not following us on one platform, or if you're only following us on one platform, please follow us on the other ones. That just helps us out. So you really can pretty much find us anywhere. You know, if it's Twitter, if it's YouTube, if it's Facebook, we're pretty much there. TikTok, we're there. Well, Nichelle, I'm glad you got your stuff done. That's probably more important that you got your stuff finished up. It's a good thing. So please, if you're not following us, everywhere, go in and follow us. Even if you don't ever go back and watch us there, feel free to share some more. Tell a friend and tell a friend and tell a friend again. With that, we're gonna wrap this up. We'll see y'all in 2 weeks. We're out. Toodles and loos. What it do, snackers and snackettes? Did you like what you just saw? Would you like to help us grow? Here's what you can do. Shoot over to patreon.com/loading snacks. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on your favorite platform of choice. Appreciate you.